Good afternoon, everybody. We're going to do another quick video today on one of the most common questions that I get asked regarding the Pedasi area. And one of the most frequently things that people bring up, especially when moving to a tropical place like Panama, tends to be, what's the weather like? Well, it's not an easy question. You know, everybody thinks that you move to the tropics and everything's perfect all the time. And it's not perfect, but it's definitely better than where I come from because you don't have to shovel snow in Panama. So technically, I guess most people consider Panama to have two seasons. We always call them here rainy season and dry season. Now, some people also call them winter and summer. Summer being dry season and winter being rainy season. And other people call them dry season and green season. So it all depends on, I guess, if you're a glass half empty or a glass half full type of a person, how you want to look at what's what and what you want to call it. In Spanish, they call them verano and invierno. So it's winter and summer. So summer, which is dry season here, tends to go from about December until April, May. Now that obviously depends on where you are in the country, however, as well. So I'll talk a little bit about some other places that I'm familiar with in Panama, but I'm primarily going to talk about the Pedasi area and the weather in this particular area. So in Pedasi, from about the middle of December, the rain really slows down. By about the beginning of January, it completely stops. And then from anywhere from 4.5 to 5.5 months, we get absolutely no rain until about the end of May. So this year was a particularly dry year. They're calling it an El Nino year. And some farmers in the area and some scientific data that they came out with said that basically it hasn't been this dry since 1963. So we had a little bit of a drought year this year, but that happens in different countries and different places. And then last rainy season was also one of the most rainy seasons that they've had in about 30 or 40 years. But typically, the rainy season in Pedasi, which goes from about May until, like I said, the middle of December, really, it's not that bad. In this particular part of Panama, and we're into kind of a regular rainy season right now, actually, we get 2, maybe 3 hours of rain a day. We don't know when that rain's coming. It could be morning, it could be afternoon, it could be at night. You know, there's no clock to it, really. Other parts of Panama, you can almost set your watch to the fact that it's going to rain by about lunchtime. This part of Panama, we don't know when it's coming. But to get a full day torrential downpour, crazy rain, we probably get between 4 and 6 of those types of days throughout the entire rainy season. It's not a very common occurrence in this part of Panama. And in fact, statistically speaking, the Pedasi area is actually the driest area of the entire country. I think there's something, and correct me, don't quote me on this, so correct me if I'm wrong, but there's something like 160 different microclimates in what is a fairly small country in Panama. So we're in one of the driest of the microclimates. And then come middle of December, beginning of January, again, like I said, everything stops and it just completely dries up, and every day is blue skies. And we get a very nice breeze that comes in from the ocean. And so it's not too bad. And the humidity actually drops off quite a lot during summer. So a lot of the tourism season here, because it's winter in North America and winter in Europe, and it's summer here, or what we call summer. So a lot of the tourists come and they see January, February, March, and a lot of people from those parts of the world never actually experience the rainy season here. Personally, I like both. I think the rainy season, you know, we get about 2 rains, everything turns green, the country becomes absolutely vibrant, and things just start to grow like crazy, and that lasts for 6-7 months. So it's really good, and the rain's manageable. We don't get massive torrential downpours. Other areas that are popular with expats like Boquete, they get 9 or 10 months of rain a year, and pretty much during their rainy season, most people that I know that live out there, friends, clients, the time that I've spent out there, you get all your stuff done in the morning, and then almost every single afternoon you get like some crazy rains that come down. David, which is a city just about 45 minutes down the mountain from Boquete, and it's Panama's second largest city. They get very similar type weather, but they don't have as much of a long rainy season as what Boquete does. Panama City, Coronado, those beach areas up there, they have a longer rainy season than what Pedasi does. It starts earlier and it ends later, basically. So instead of having 5 months of no rain, they get maybe 3-4 months of no rain, and in there sometimes they catch a rain once in a while as well, even during dry season. So obviously for the farmers and the people that are cultivating and growing things, it's a little bit easier. From a tourist point of view, it's obviously kind of nice to have the dryness. As far as fishing and whatnot goes, actually during February that's not always because the winds are up, so the ocean's not always great. And sometimes actually going out fishing, it's a little bit overcast, the days are cooler, there's really not a whole lot of wind during rainy season. It tends to be a lot better fishing down here on an area that we call the Tuna Coast. I'll talk a little bit more about fishing down the road in a different video. But anyways, this is a basic kind of understanding about what the weather is like here between dry season and rainy season. Temperature-wise, I guess that's another question that I get asked a lot on what's here. Rainy season does tend to be a little bit cooler. It's a bit more humid, but it's a little bit cooler. Today when I woke up, it was about 25 degrees Celsius. During dry season, sometimes it goes up to 34, 35 degrees Celsius, but it doesn't feel like it too bad because, again, there's that nice wind. So if you stand in the shade and you got a nice breeze, it tends to feel fairly cool. So typically in this part of Panama, we range between, say, 25 and 35 degrees Celsius, and it rarely gets much more hot than that. I've seen it up to 36, 37 a couple times, but those are the exceptions to the rule, not the norms. So it's quite comfortable living. It's always hot. We're always in shorts and short sleeve shirts. Common, dress around here is to wear shorts and sandals and flip flops. It's a beach town, and everybody's pretty casual on how they dress. And we'll talk a little bit about dress codes and what Panama expects on dress codes and whatnot in a future video as well. That's another good subject to talk about. Anyways, you have any other questions about the weather of this area, or possibly I can help you out with other areas, let me know. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell button, and leave some comments, and I'll see if I can answer any other questions for you regarding this. Thanks for listening, and have a good day.